I want to remind folks to take more pictures of your stud friends.
Hmm.
Put them in the photos. Put them in front of the camera. And not just in their little pose with the one hand over the other or sitting with their legs crossed. Get a smiling photo of them too. Get some I want some more stud joy on the internets of folks just, being out, hanging out, doing the things. Like put them in front of the camera, take their photos and tell them they're pretty. This is Shana.
And Kris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have Daikon. Daikon is a famous woman who is popular with queer women. My sentence is actually from Shelley Nicole, who defined this. Shout out to Shelley. Even though she is not a dyke, Natasha Lyonne is quite the Daikon.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. We will claim her. Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
for sure.
All right. My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is asexual pride flag. Asexual pride flag was created in 2010 following an asexual visibility contest that challenged participants to create a flag for those who identify as bisexual. My sentence breaks down the different colors. So if you see the black, gray, white, and purple flag, that is the asexuality pride flag. Black stands for asexuality, gray stands for gray asexuality and demisexuality, white stands for non-asexual partners and allies, and purple stands for community. Asexual pride flag. All right,
Cool.
let's go ahead and praise, pray tell. Y'all, this is what we're going to call a category palooza,
Yeah.
as you will. So we haven't been able to talk to y'all, just us. In a bit, we've had so many amazing people to close out the year. You all know that Kris and I are traveling and doing family things. So we're trying to get the people on so that you all still have content and we can do some self-care. So today's episode is going to be all categories plus our bad queer opinions and our shout outs. So just giving you a heads up if you're looking forward to Am I a Bad Queer? We will be passing that this week because we have so much to talk about with our category is. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first category is rightfully titled
Mm,
The Season Finale of America 2024.
my God.
What a year.
The script writers for America have just they've outdone themselves. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want any credits, but we are in this and wow. It like to the very end. We have used all
To the very end.
365 days. It's nuts. Every day you wake up to something crazy. So there's a lot of places we could start.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna start with the United Health CEO murder.
My goodness.
My gosh.
My God.
My gosh. So many layers here. It's like very America.
Mm.
Very America of us. If you don't know, last week, December 4th, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was murdered in New York, broad daylight,
On the
um,
street.
on the street. And it's just the chaos after it. First off, rest in peace, because we don't condone violence here, and he has a family. Um,
A
Very
lot of people
quickly,
on the
there were
internet for
images.
this.
It's a lot of, I
A
know
lot
we'll
of
get to
people
that. We'll
disagree.
get to it. We're not
I'm
going to
sorry. I'm
condone
sorry.
it,
You were
but
about to
we'll
get
get to
into
it.
you were about
We'll
to get
get
into it.
to
I'm
it.
so sorry I interrupted.
Yeah,
Please
we'll get to
continue.
it because, on the face of it, we're not like, we'll get to it. So, um, very quickly, I mean, it's hard to commit crimes without being seen. Nowadays, there's cameras everywhere. So,
Mm-hmm.
right after this murder in this massive manhunt, because this is a CEO, this is a rich person, so they're going to use all of the resources. And it was also in New York in broad daylight, so they were gonna the
Like
manhunt
that's
was on.
that's the main
So
thing. It was
yeah,
on a sidewalk during the daytime. Mans was headed to what a next session in a conference or some shit.
yeah, it
Like,
was a shareholders conference for United
yeah.
Healthcare that very morning, and yeah, he was gunned down. So there was images of the assassin, and that flooded the airwaves and all over the internet. You saw someone, that was masked up, shooting Brian Thompson. Soon after that, they let out a photo of the alleged murderer, who Ooh, it's not funny, but it's funny what's come of it because it's just we're ridiculous as a country. But they showed him at a hostel. He had pulled his mask down. The top of his face masked what they had already released, which is like kind of the eye. Really, the eyebrows really is kind of what did it. He has very distinct eyebrows. And once this hostel photo of him smiling came out, the thirsting is at an all-time high. Like this one photo of this nice smile, this the alleged killer went out into the airways, the internet went crazy. With people being like, wait a minute, was he there? Because he was with me. And just thirsting because, he's a good-looking guy. And as of today, we're recording on December 12th. They have caught Luigi Mangione.
Mangione.
Mangione, who is a 26-year-old, well-to-do young man.
Mm-hmm.
And they caught him in Pennsylvania at a McDonald's. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
McDonald's. It's always a
And the
downfall.
thing is, it was a McDonald's employee that called
Was it
to.
a play? I saw that it was someone else that had seen him that was a customer that
No, somebody
thought he
said
was
that
suspicious.
it was an
Yeah, at first I
employee.
heard the employee at first, and then I saw
Ah, yeah.
a couple other places saying that it was a customer that thought he was suspicious. Either way,
Yeah.
this wouldn't happen at Popeyes or any other,
O-
a lot of other
Okay.
restaurants
Okay.
where people mind their business.
Yeah. And didn't
So
whoever the person was that, okay, this could be fake news. Don't know. But couldn't the
it's a lot
person,
going around.
didn't the person who report because they called 911 instead of calling the number, they ended up not getting the reward money?
Really? I didn't hear that, but I was very
I feel like
interested
that
to see
could
if
be
they would
fake
get the
news.
money. It
I
could
feel
be.
like I
There's
may
a
have
lot of
fallen for it.
misinformation
I
going
feel like I fell
around
for
with this
that.
too. So no, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
And so once he was apprehended, very quickly the internet was flooded with photos of Luigi shirtless. He has a very good physique.
Hmm.
Um, and just, I mean, he's a good-looking guy. And again, well-to-do from a wealthy family from Maryland. He went to like UPenn and Ivy League, and all the things they say murderers aren't. He was.
Hmm.
So with the thirsting, there's the thirsting that's going on, but there's also the indictment of our healthcare system. So what's wrapped up in this and what the alleged motive is that Luigi is murdered this United Health CEO because United is one of the most, actually the most profitable health insurance company in America. And what's been happening for now a while is that health insurance companies allegedly, not really allegedly, have been using AI to deny benefits and claims to folks who are sick, who are seeking care. Their profits have skyrocketed. It's only gone up. So this seems to be a vigilante situation, which America needs right now. America is very much looking for someone to look up to that's Batman-esque or Batman adjacent, where it's a little muddied, again because of the murder, but also again the jokes flying about like maybe the CEO didn't he wasn't covered,
Mm.
so there's
Stop.
it's
I hate
hard
that
to
I
be like
giggled
this
at that.
one man isn't responsible for the entire health industry doing what it's doing, the CEO who was murdered, but he is also a part of it, so he's not as sympathetic as anyone else would be. So there's a lot going on in this. Again, we don't know. Luigi has been charged, but he's released a manifesto, and there's a couple of lines from it where he apologizes for any strife of traumas, but he said it had to be done. This is his alleged manifesto. It's not actually that long, so it's a quick read. He said, frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder: the U.S. has the number one most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. Go us. And United is the largest company in the US by market cap, beaten only by Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but has our life expectancy, which he says no, because it hasn't. No, the reality is these companies have simply gotten too powerful and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Um, he also shouted something out about like the American public. I don't know what he said when he was arrested, but um, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of finger wagging of like, oh, we don't condone violence, but we know we do. And again, just general thirst. So what do you think about everything that's come out so far? It's kind of hard to decipher because again, there is a lot of misinformation floating around too.
Hmm.
Like there was supposedly a YouTube video that was supposed to come out, but I think that is not
Apparently, like the
happening
FBI got a
anymore.
hold of it and
Yeah,
shut down all
shit.
of his pages
Yeah.
and things. I think, first of all, we are so unserious as a
We just,
country. So
God, we're
unserious.
so bad.
This whole thing is out of control, but it is bringing up conversations that need to be had. First of all, around our healthcare system, because as
Mm-mm.
the world knows, our healthcare system is trash. It's terrible.
Trash.
It is a
Hot trash.
business and it works as a business and does not really care about the people that it's there to serve. It's AI is shutting down claims and people are not getting the funds that they need to just do their basic health needs. So, really happy that these situations bring up those conversations. Also, the same with the other talking point that folks have where they're stating that, oh, you could find his new prison photos that are somehow getting leaked all the
Yes.
time, and a whole conspiracy around the fact that the security guards are taking photos of him, probably unwillingly, and then posting them on the internet. So we have all of
Hmm.
these photos of this man, but y'all couldn't find Kamala's policies.
I mean,
So
all of
that's
those
another
things. They
talking
found his
point that I'm
letterbox,
just
all
like,
of
wow, well, we
it.
have more information about him than the shooter that tried to take out, allegedly tried to take out Donald Trump, you know,
Hmm.
things that we are pointing at that we
Shooters.
know are conspiracies and that we just don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
So I love when these things happen because it does spark necessary conversations that we need to have. Hopefully, there will be action behind it. But also, we have a full Republican government that's coming in hand. So unless we do something now, I don't have a lot of hope.
No.
Also, with this, I know that everybody has their CEOs clutched and hidden and wondering what's happening, but I just think that with Luigi, it's such an interesting case. I think we're going to be scraping through this for months, reading through what's real, what's not, all the things that are happening, even as
Hmm.
he's getting pulled into the jail cell, like into the holding cell, he's yelling out different things and talking
Hmm.
about how it's a disgrace for the people. And there's so much going on. So in reality, if this is the vigilante statement that it is, and he really is coming for the people and really did this as a result of the fact that this business is unfair to the American people, then that's whole conversation where it's like,
Hmm.
there's a million other ways that this could have been handled, but also it's giving us the conversation that we need to have and hopefully having businesses look at what they're doing.
Yeah.
But also this is next to the gun. Uh what's the word?
Lobby.
Thank you. The gun
Hmm.
lobbyists. I was like, healthcare is the next most powerful thing.
It's right
So
there. It's right there. So yeah. And I
not
mean,
a lot
we
of hope on
we
my
are the
end.
clowns of the world to again be working as hard as we do for the least amount of benefits. Like our benefits suck.
Our
Like the
benefits are terrible,
healthcare is such a joke. Everything,
right?
greed is overrun everything. Profit has overrun everything. And
Truly.
like, they're talking. I saw a story about how Luigi apparently has had like severe back pain or problems and everything. Some people mention that now that he's 26, he would be off of his parents' health insurance next year.
Hmm.
In the US, you have until you're 26. And then, those bills pile up. Medical debt is no joke, it's crushing, and the system is fucked up. So while like the thirst trapping, and you just mentioned this, but like while the thirst trapping is funny, the jokes are funny. And again, the CEO unfortunately, but fortunately, isn't that sympathetic of a figure. I do hope that there is an actual conversation or action around this because otherwise it's just us continuing to be clowns about this. Like it's like this one murder, yes, and it shines light, but if we're not going to do anything to like push for changes with it, then it really doesn't really matter. Which unfortunately, is kind of our thing. So, I don't know what happens from this. It's going to be a wild story to say the
Hmm.
least. I don't know if he gets convicted. I don't know where he gets
I feel
tried
like
and
they're gonna
convicted.
keep
I
him for the
feel like,
longest time. And
yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like when he's out of the news cycle, we're not gonna know. Maybe
But
they'll just
whenever he pops
disappear
back
him.
up, they're gonna have to. And I don't know if they could disappear him. They would have to do like a Guantanamo Bay secret trial at this point. But whenever he pops up, and this isn't gonna go away, but whenever that trial happens, I do think he gets acquitted. Um, because I just think people are gonna be sympathetic towards it, or he gets like a lesser charge, like he wouldn't
Hmm.
get first degree murder when
I'm
it's
so interested to see
pretty
who his
clearly
lawyer is gonna be.
premeditated.
That's what I want to know. Who's
Well,
the
he has
legal
the
team?
money. He has the
Who's
money.
the
It'd
legal
be
team?
interesting.
I need to know.
And what does he say? Like, what's his defense with this? If there is, like, he
Hmm.
might be like,
I'm
no, I
so
didn't.
fascinated.
So
So
we'll
fascinated.
see.
And the
We'll
spoofs
see.
off of this from all of
Oh
the law
God.
shows and all of the things
Yeah. You know that
are going to be
SVU
so
is being
fascinating.
that script is
SVU is going
being
to have to do a crossover
written.
episode because there's going to be an underlying something that went into it.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the
Grey's
any
Anatomy will have an episode.
okay, they'll have my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, the
Mm-hmm.
documentaries that are going to come out between
Documentaries are
Netflix
gonna
and
be
Hulu.
nice.
Amazon might even throw their
Yeah.
hat in. Like it's going
Yeah.
to be ridiculous. But I do
Yes.
feel like at some point, all of a sudden, we're not going to hear about him anymore, and we're not going to know where he is, and we're not going to know what happened, and it's just going to be just gone. Or they're going to give us something.
Yeah.
They're going to say that it was the secret thing. They'll be like, "Here was the result," and then we're never going to see this man again.
I don't know. Maybe they obviously have the power to do that.
My conspiracy.
Why I don't think they'd be able to is because this is a rich white boy. I
I
don't
never
think it
knew.
just happens that easily. Like whatever I read a story today saying he's like stopped talking to his parents and they haven't been able to be in touch with him. But he is a rich white boy in America. And I just think that you can't just get them out of the paint without, everybody hearing about it. So we'll see what happens.
Conspiracies
But
everywhere.
we'll
Yep.
see. We'll see. Very interesting though, with the violence isn't the answer crowd when violence is absolutely the answer in America.
Yeah.
Um,
Ironic how many governors and other politicians have
mhm,
spoken up. And I
mhm.
love the receipts that the internet are finding quickly as well, where it was like one
Yeah,
governor who had said, like, we shouldn't be met with this type of
Pennsylvania,
violence. And then, thank you. And then
Shapiro.
they went and had a photo of him signing a bomb that they were sending over to Israel. Like, what?
Yeah, yeah. Or
Don't
even
play.
on the right, the conservatives and everything are calling him everything under the sun. And it's just like they just had a pep rally for the what's the guy that just was acquitted? I forgot his name. It's the Jordan Neely case. I don't know what the name is, but
Hmm.
him, they had a pep rally for him. They had one for Zimmerman. They had one for Kyle Rittenhouse. So very interesting that violence isn't the answer, but they have these pep rallies for these right wing vigilantes, especially Kyle Rittenhouse. They have pretty
Hmm.
much like I don't know, he probably has a show somewhere, but they love him. Yeah. This is America though. This is what we do. And unfortunately, fortunately, violence gets our attention. So like people are like, "Oh shit. The healthcare industry does really suck. Is this what they're doing?" Like
They're
even
like,
the AI
oh,
stuff. I
wait,
didn't know. I'm
y'all
not
agree?
surprised by the AI stuff, but I'm like that is some inhumane shit to have
Hmm.
AI decide and to, there's what were the three words on the bullets? It was like deny, delay, defend, which is like
Something
based
like
on a
that. Yeah.
book of how they deny, delay, and defend these claims and like try to basically wait people out so that they either drop their claims or die.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we are cooked as a nation anyway. So some of these things that are happening, I have a feeling we might see more vigilante violence with people doing things in the name of something bigger and
Hmm.
we are just spiraling into Gotham City. Honestly, there's a whole Gotham country thing going on. So we'll keep you. We'll see what happens next year. I mean, we'll see. We probably won't have any real updates until the top of the new year with this, but this has been a wild story. It's been
Hmm.
Monopoly money. It's been letterbox review. Like they have Luigi's
Everything.
everything, everything,
Everything.
everything, everything, which is also interesting. This case to me too, because of him being so young, so he grew up on the internet. So like his whole receipts, digital receipts and footprints are like being put out
There.
there. Like,
They are there. The
it's
children are not safe when
nuts
it comes to the law
at
in the
all.
future.
At all. They have everything. They're about to publish his journal or diary soon. Like it's just,
Hmm.
yeah, they have everything. It's nuts. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
thoughts and prayers. I don't know.
no, I
I
just,
don't know.
what?
Thoughts and
We'll
prayers
see.
to
We'll see what
thoughts and
happens.
prayers to the people who are affected by our shitty health
That,
insurance
that. I'm over here just like,
industry.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's really it.
So yeah. Well, our other end of year, not a surprise. We've been waiting for
It's
this. We
not. It
said
is
this. I feel like
not.
we said this earlier this year, and I was just like,
We
you
knew.
know,
We
we
knew.
knew,
They
we
hang
knew
out all the time.
all
Like
the
it's
time, have
just it
been
was
for
coming.
decades. Like,
This is
so
the
if you
least
couldn't guess what
surprising.
we were talking about, we're talking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z was
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
named in an amended complaint to a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs filed in October. The filing accuses him and Combs of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl at a VMA after party in the year 2000. In the original lawsuit filed in October, the anonymous Jane Doe plaintiff from Alabama accused Combs of raping her at a party in New York City as two other unnamed celebrities watched. The stars were identified in the civil lawsuit as only Celebrity A and Celebrity B. The updated lawsuit filed Sunday identifies Carter as Celebrity A. The other celebrity was described as a female, but has otherwise not been identified in court documents.
Mm,
Jay-Z, with the quickness,
very
with
quick.
the quickness, responded to the allegations, which he said were heinous, hours later in a statement posted on his company Rock Nation's X account, calling the accuser's attorney, Ton Busby, deplorable, and saying he engaged in a blackmail attempt. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. That's what Jay-Z is stating. Would you not agree? He continues to say these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. Was like, I
Amongst other
know
things.
that most recently there was another post that came up to say allegedly that Jane Doe came directly to Jay-Z's lawyers, said that Tony Busby actually tricked her into going along with this. Like she never really agreed, never really said that she wanted to do this. Apparently, Tony Busby tried to convince her to take the fall for this and that she would remain anonymous and do whatever. So she came to Jay-Z's team, allegedly, and said, here's what Tony Busby did. Here's how he manipulated me. I don't believe that any of this is true. Still want to remain anonymous, but I will become unanonymous for Jay-Z's team. So now this is all over the place because Jay-Z is attacking Tony Busby to say that he is a crook and a lowlife of a lawyer. Tony Busby is saying, well, you're looking real guilty now with how defensive you're getting. And now we have this follow-up story of potentially having the Jane Doe going over to Jay-Z's team to be like, I never said this. This never happened. Tony Busby is also trying to out me. So there will definitely be more to come of this,
Yeah.
even to the point that they had Mama Tina, apparently her Instagram account had liked a post that had announced that this was happening. And then she quickly made a post on her Instagram stating that I don't play about my family and I was hacked and you all know that I would never do that. And then the whole family was at the Mufasa premiere standing in
Mhm.
solidarity, focusing on Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
We're not surprised. We knew that
Not
Jay-Z had
surprised.
made it out unscathed for a while. For the way that these two hung out and did the things, we knew that something was going to happen and something was going to be said. Um,
Yeah.
and there's just going to be more that comes with this. I don't feel like that's going to be the only allegation that he receives.
Oh no. I don't. It'll be interesting to see if they name who Celebrity B is in this as well, because
Hmm.
yeah, it was interesting when this. I do remember when this case was filed and they said that there were Celebrity A and B, so it was like, oh, who are they? I didn't really like Jay-Z's statement back. I understand him defending himself, of course. I know he absolutely wrote this himself. He is a Hall of Fame writer. I don't think he actually really denied anything in it as much as going after Tony Busby, which I thought was interesting. And then the insistence on wanting the accuser to not remain anonymous, I understand. But if these things are true, you know, she's more at risk than he is. Like, of course,
Hmm.
he has to fight for his life with this. I understand his moves. I don't know. I feel like his statement lacked the actual denial though, like
Mm-hmm.
of it. And I think there was a line in there that it was more so the assumption that no one would think this is true. And it's just like, and you know me, I am a huge Jay-Z fan. I love his music, but I don't know Jay-Z. I would never cape for any musician, celebrity, any person I don't know now. There's no need to defend them because if it's not true, then, either way, we'll find out, right? But I don't know. Like I thought it was like I understood the strong stance and statement. I just think it lacked like a outright I didn't do this. And then you could go after Tony Busby because celebrity lawyers like this. I know Tony Busby from like the Deshaun Watson case. He's been on a couple of other high profile cases. So, you can never tell sometimes with lawyers if they're like good or bad because he was believable for the Deshaun Watson case and he defended a lot of those women who were sexually assaulted by Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that, this case is from 2000. This accuser would be in their late 30s. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard. You can't take a side. There's not a lot of information out about this. I will say, I'm not going to defend anybody. I won't put anything past anybody because what we have learned is that we don't know these people. We just like their art.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z is one of the best rappers of all time, my number one, but I don't know this man. I don't know Sean Carter. I don't know him. And he has, as we talked before, like we knew this was coming because his close relationship with Diddy and being in the industry for that long and knowing what the industry has been. Like it has been highly predatory. It's been very violent towards women and children and men and young men and young boys. So you really can't put anything past people. There's not enough information here to think either way. But when the news broke of this on Sunday, I was just like, well, so it begins because I don't think this is going to be the last allegation. There's been whispers for years when all this came out with Diddy. I know there are people who were like, absolutely Jay-Z probably, did something. I'm not one of those people who are like, absolutely he did. I'm just not surprised about anything anymore with celebrities at all. Like I'm not surprised by shit. Like it's
Yeah.
just, we don't know these people at all. So, woof, you know. And I feel so bad that Blue Ivy had that overshadow her premiere and her being in the new Mufasa
Mufasa.
movie. I hated that for her and the timing of it all, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, we'll see what happens here.
Yes, we will.
Um, all right, let's move on. Let's get into some court cases and rulings and things of that nature. The
Mm-hmm.
category is United States versus Skrmetti. Last week, the Supreme Court heard arguments in the U.S. versus Skrmetti case, the most important trans rights case the court has heard to date. Chase Strangio became the first known transgender person to make oral arguments before the Supreme Court. This particular case concerns a 2023 Tennessee law banning gender affirming medical care like puberty blockers and hormone therapy for transgender minors. The law explicitly targets transgender youth to prevent them from transitioning. The Supreme Court is reviewing whether this law violates constitutional protections against sex discrimination, and the outcome could allow broader bans on gender affirming care for both minors and adults, while potentially redefining how courts handle sex discrimination cases. The decision for this will be handed down in June 2025, as all Supreme Court cases are ruled on in June. Um, any thoughts about this? We were lucky to have AJ Hikes from the ACLU on. That episode is coming, so we'll have some more discussions about this. But I mean, we know what we're up against and who is the majority in the Supreme
Mm-hmm.
Court.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I'm
you know,
hoping. I'm hoping that maybe we can get one.
right.
Get enough to switch it over because again, hopefully they can see the bigger picture that this is not just going to impact who they think it's going to impact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is something that we all need to continue to be paying attention to, that we need to continue to make noise over, because it's not like we just go let it sit for the next 6 months and then be like, we're back. We need to push this fully because the Supreme Court does hear about these things, and we need to be able to continue to influence and continue to get involved and continue to make sure that people are aware that this is happening, along with the hundreds of other laws that have been placed in other states. So, well, this one has made it to the Supreme Court with amazing representation. I know that Chase went in there and did what needed to be done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they even at the event, they were hosting bathroom sit-ins. There was a lot of support outside, having chants and conversations and talks, and even one of our Amara Jones, was there, and a bunch of other people that we are big fans of, to be able to go in and support. This is a huge deal, and it's not something that we can just kind of turn our heads to. This is something that we need to continue to pay attention to, because this will have greater implications for other bills that are out as well. So,
Yeah. We'll see. Actually, breaking news: the Montana Supreme Court affirmed a lower court ruling that temporarily blocked a state law prohibiting transition-related healthcare for minors. So they're going to allow transgender care for minors to continue in Montana, which is a Republican state. So,
mm-hmm.
to your point, hopefully, if they go by the law and that this is sex discrimination, um, they do the right thing. I
Yes.
just know, some
It's
of
like
them
not a
are
lot of hope.
bought.
Not a
It's
lot of
like
hope.
Clarence and them
Clarence's pockets are filled.
filled. And it's
Filled.
probably it's not just Clarence. So we will see
I
what
know.
happens. We are
We're
going
gonna
to
yell
hope
at
for the
him
best.
specifically.
We're going to hope that people uphold the law as written and don't discriminate. Um, but we also, that good news, but then bad news. The
Mm,
UK, all these Wednesday things. The
really?
UK, this is yesterday.
It really is.
Just what a year. The UK on Wednesday indefinitely banned new prescriptions of puberty blockers to treat minors for gender dysphoria. The announcement came a week after the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments in the case we just mentioned. Puberty blockers are commonly prescribed to transgender children in countries throughout the Western world to delay the onset of puberty or pause it as it is transpiring. This is a reversible thing, but my God, they all of the hate mongering and all the fear around it has just clouded all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Puberty does resume once the medication is no longer taken. This indefinite ban on the in Britain comes several months after an independent study commissioned by England's National Health Service concluded that the medical evidence around transition-related care for minors is remarkably weak and that more research is needed. Trans minors in the UK who are already taking the medication can continue to do so, according to the government, and cisgender minors who experience puberty at an abnormally early age will still be able to receive new prescriptions for the medication. So, this is exactly what we're fighting for here, where they're letting cisgender children take the medication. They're fine, but trans minors cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Or new trans, if you aren't already on there, they have banned it indefinitely. So, not good news over there. We're
Mm-mm.
going to hope for the best. Yeah. What is this world? On to happier news.
Happier news. Let's talk women's sports, because that's what we need to really be.
Get
So
to
let's
it.
to bring it up, to bring it up, and our last category is we're talking women's sports. So we recently had the expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries. Made their selections. There were some fun surprises in there, and the Valkyries already, they're looking good already. Okay.
Yeah. Great
So
picks.
if you didn't get to see the expansion draft, basically each team was able to go and protect 6 players. And under that The Valkyries were able to go and pick one player from each team. Mind you, they did not have to pick a player from every team, but they had a choice to pick a player that was unprotected from each team. They did so to every team except for the Seattle Storm. We'll get into the why and more on that in a little bit, but they picked somebody from every team except for the Seattle Storm. So to give you some of the names, we have Liana Rupert from Atlanta Dream, Maria Conde from Chicago Sky, Veronica Burton, a great get, from the Connecticut Sun, Carla Letty from Dallas Wings, Temi Fagbenle, who also was another fantastic get. Like, how did Indiana not protect her? Kate Martin from the Las Vegas Aces. We are overjoyed for Kate Martin. Sad for us with the Aces, but overjoyed for her to go because she is clearly going to be the face of that league.
Already a fan favorite.
Honestly, Stephanie Talbot from the Los Angeles Sparks, Cecilia Zandalasini. I apologize, I butchered that. I know it. From the Minnesota Lynx, Kayla Thornton, another great get. Also surprised she wasn't protected. From the New York Liberty, but I know the New York Liberty had a hard time having to make that list because that's a hard shit.
My God.
That was a hard list.
Yeah.
Monique Billings from the Phoenix Mercury and Julie Van Loo, another great get from the Washington Mystics.
Got a little squad out here.
Okay. No. Let's go back and talk about Kate. Because the coach for the Valkyries was the assistant coach, was one of the assistant coaches for the Aces. The other assistant coach is now the Chicago Sky head coach. So go Becky for building up the coaches. But obviously, I feel like Becky did want to protect Kate, and I feel like the new coach was just like, hey, gimme. I'll pay for dinner for you.
Something. Gotta come up with something.
You know, because Kate's gonna come out here, and the coach said one thing that she wanted was shooters and dogs. People who were gonna fight to the finish and people who were gonna shoot that ball. And Kate, you let that girl go off in the corner, and she's gonna take off. I think this is fantastic for Kate. Devastated for her because her story. When we get this Netflix documentary, whatever, of her story, because it's iconic. She went to the WNBA draft to support Caitlin Clark. Then they asked her to move to the end of the row, which meant she was getting picked up. Not only did she get picked up, she got picked up by one of the best teams in the goddamn league, the Las Vegas Aces, and got to go and play and continued to make it all the way through the season. She played. For her to become like great friends with like A'ja Wilson, that was her rookie. That was to be A'ja Wilson's rookie and to go through that timeline, to be great with Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray and Alicia Clark, my wife, like, go off, Kate Martin. And now for her to go, and as popular as she is.
Okay, wife?
What? Yeah, Alicia Clark, wife.
Wife? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No hesitation. Yes, we've discussed this. Separate from Allie. Okay.
Yeah.
Separate
I was
from
like,
Allie.
there's been a lot of players. I don't know about Alicia Clark. Yeah.
Soccer,
wife. You can have multiple wives. That's your, hey,
I'm treating them right.
That is fine. I just didn't know.
Right.
I don't think I remember Alicia Clark. I do remember Allie. I feel like you said an NWSL player that's not, but it's okay. No.
Midge Purse.
Just adding to the, there we go. I think that's the one. So I was like, oh,
yes,
okay,
but Allie is still number one.
Adding to the mental Rolodex.
Allie's still number one at all times. Yeah, no, Alicia Clark, other wife. And they were just hung out as well before she left and all the things. And then Kate Martin did a whole like day in the life of here's me leaving Vegas and her cute ass girlfriend coming to visit her to help her pack and do the stuff. I'm like, this is the story that we deserve of Kate Martin having a phenomenal season. Even though she didn't get off a lot, like for a rookie, she did get to play a decent amount. And just to be able to go from the Aces organization to the Valkyries, bitch. You about to be best friends with Steph Curry, bitch. You are in the places that, like, Kate hasn't had to deal with the problematic side of the WNBA. She has gone to a place that invested, that had great ownership, that built facilities, so she didn't have to deal with places that don't have facilities, like Chicago Sky doesn't. It's coming in 2026, allegedly, but we don't have one, things like that. And now she's going to the Golden State Valkyries, who have done full investment. She gets to play at the fucking Chase Center. Like, what? Kate Martin, congrats to you. Temi, Tammy girl, they did you dirty. Okay? You were Caitlin Clark's go-to person in the paint.
Like, honestly.
Go to.
I would say Timmy kind of saved the season because when they had that hell schedule starting, I feel like when she came in, she kind of balanced things out, and there was
Mm-hmm.
chemistry that they built that like kind of sustained that run before the Olympic pause and then after. Like, so yeah, that we got a dog out here.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow. I really thought that the fever would protect Timmy
I thought
because
so
it
too.
just made
Even in
sense.
the
But
like pre-articles and stuff, they thought that she would be protected. And then she
yeah,
wasn't. And that's
whew.
why I wish some of these lists I wish the lists weren't secret because I want to know who they saved and who they didn't. But
I'll I'll tell you who they didn't select. Anybody from Seattle. They
nobody.
said nobody.
Nobody,
No.
baby.
Mm-mm, nobody.
You
We're gonna
say
pass. We're fine.
nobody.
We're okay.
Nobody. And it was
My
glorious. Why?
God.
Possibly because Seattle Storm was accused of bullying and harassment of their players. So in
Mm,
November,
mm,
the Chicago
mm.
Sun-Times reported that the Storm were investigating their coaching staff. Seattle had hired a law firm to look into the accusations of harassment and bullying by the coaches regarding player performance. So this is back in November. At the beginning of this month,
Quick
December
turnaround.
4th to be exact, Seattle Storm announced that an external investigation into reported accusations of harassment and bullying by the team's coaches staff had concluded without finding any violations. Nothing had happened, nothing had gone wrong.
At
Some
all.
the internet was speculating and saying that, "Oh no, you didn't know your plays? You should get yelled at. You didn't know what was happening? You should get yelled at." And so, after that, promptly there was the announcement that longtime, actually, longtime. This is not her only team. She's played on multiple teams, including Chicago, which is why Chicago's trying to get her back.
Mm,
Longtime player for the
right
Seattle
back there.
Storm, Jewel Lloyd, requested a trade from the Storm. So now everybody is alluding that Jewel was the whistleblower. And because it didn't work out in her favor, she's leaving. Other folks are
And should.
speculating that because she was there under great leadership. Like she had Sue, she had Brianna Stewart. She really just got to go there and play her game and peace out. Like Jewel's an introverted person. And, all of those folks left. Yes, they did get Skylar. Yes, they did get NECA, but that was her
No,
team.
Mecca.
So why oh NECA? What?
Because when this came out, I was like, girl, she is not gonna be the commissioner with this on the record. Not a good look.
No, does this take this off the resume?
It makes it harder. Like it makes it harder. I'll
You
never
could
say
flip
never
it
because she
because
is
because the accusation came
qualified,
as
but
without finding any violations. She could be
which
like,
was
"You
really
made it
quick
through."
because
The
this was like
turnaround for
this
that
happened like mid-November, and
so
then like
fast,
the law firm came back
like
very
with
quickly. It
the
was like, nope,
holiday
nothing.
break in there too. Like knowing that they
Yeah,
took
yep,
off for Thanksgiving, they were still able to have that turnaround and say, "Nope, we didn't
yeah,
find nothing.
nope,
We didn't find
nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
Nope, y'all are good."
And the Seattle Storm coaching staff from last year, you have the head coach and former WNBA player Noelle Quinn. Um, there was other former WNBA players, Ebony Hoffman, Pokey Chapman, Perry Wong. So I don't I don't know what's going on. Jewel was like immediately like when the findings came back and there was no violations, immediately wanted to
She
be
said,
traded. And I just thought it was interesting. I also
2 week
think it's
notice.
interesting. I was like, Skylar Diggins cannot catch a break. Okay.
No,
Like
truly
everywhere.
cannot. Truly cannot.
Cannot. Like wolf. So
Skylar's like, I'm just trying to play ball.
like
Leave me alone.
can I just get to a affirming and warm place where there's like not shit going on? Yeah, I just thought it was very interesting that the violations came. There were no violations, but it came back so quickly. So I mean, I don't know. It's weird with the WNBA. I'm gonna be honest because even with the Aces, like it was like they found nothing, but then it was being investigated by the league because the Seattle
Hmm.
Storm hired an independent law firm. And anytime teams do that, it still feels very HR. It's like, we're not going to do it, but we're going to pick a law firm that we're going to pay to do an
Hmm.
independent investigation. And that still doesn't feel right. And I think Jewel felt the same.
Hmm.
It was like, let me get the fuck on. So it'll be interesting to see where Jewel goes if they honor that request. She would be great back on the sky.
Please come back.
You know,
We need shooters.
y'all do. Y'all do. And that would just be a
Okay.
really good
We
team.
have Camilla and Angel. We need
Elevate y'all
shooters. We
immediately.
need shooters and
Yeah.
passers. Shooters
Yeah.
and distributors. Please.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
Please.
So
My goodness. I was
very
like, thankfully
interesting.
Dana's overseas working on that because but please. Please.
Yeah.
So yes. And then to wrap up our women's sports coverage, the Orlando Pride. Wow, what a beautiful story for them. Orlando Pride win the NWSL championship. Orlando beat the Washington Spirit 1-0 in the championship game. Barbara Banda.
Mm.
Barbara Banda scored the lone beautiful. It was a beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. And soccer legend Marta ends the year with a title. She hadn't had one. She hadn't received one, and then she got one. They had a hell of a season. I think they only lost like what, 1-2 games, if that at all. They were undefeated for the longest, and came in, did what needed to be done, cruised through.
Did it done.
We did it done. And Marta now has the award, and we love to see it. And Barbara Banda put some respect on her name because the way that y'all be sleeping on Barbara Banda when she is one of the best football players in the world.
Yeah.
So we love to see it.
Yeah. Shout out to
Love
Marta.
that for Orlando.
You know, ending with a title.
Marta.
It couldn't be the
And guess what? She's still not going to retire.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Play in the US.
She's still not going to retire. Nope. Her
really
mom got to come. I don't think her mom's ever seen her play in an NWSL game.
Really?
I don't think so. I think that was the story because they kept panning over to her a lot. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but I don't think her mom had ever seen her play either. So that was a beautiful moment for mom to come out and see her win and hoist the trophy and do the things.
What's the story with that? Is it she just like why?
I think probably
strange
money, green card, like visas
kind of thing. Okay. I mean, I didn't know she could come visit. You know, I stay here, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm glad she saw her. Either way.
I feel like there were a lot of reasons that she probably couldn't make it, but yeah. Okay. So we love to see it. At the end of the day, love to see it. Love to see all of this winning. I am so excited. I was like, y'all, make sure you pay attention to the Unrivaled League that's going to get started. I think I'm actually going to be able to go to a game.
Oh, you should. They're all in Miami, right?
Yeah. Like outside Miami. But I'm going for a flag football tournament and convincing my teammates to get tickets.
Yeah, that's really good. That's such a gay weekend for you, like gay sports weekend. Like that is.
I love it.
Flag football and basketball. My
Joy.
God.
Joy.
You know? That's great.
All my things. Yeah. You know, if the Orlando Pride were playing, I'd get tickets to that too. So it'd be joy. So yes. All right. Well, thank you all for coming for our category Palooza.
Yeah. Did we miss anything? Did anything else happen? Oh, I would mention. Oh,
so much happening.
Yeah, I wanted to say we didn't need to get into it deep, but Drake's career is over. You cannot sue during a rap battle. You can't sue. So Drake's career as a rapper.
Oh my gosh.
That was nuts. And shout out to GNX by Kendrick. That was such a good album. I am going to that show. Doing stadium tour with SZA. But I was very shocked. Like that will be studied. The documentary on Drake's downfall.
Oh my gosh.
Is gonna be crazy. Like ridiculous. I cannot believe he's taking this to court. Like ridiculous. And not specifically Kendrick Lamar. He's suing Universal, but there's stuff with it. It's already been out. Y'all know about it. But I was just like, this is it. Like there's no coming back from this. All he had to do was take the L, stay off the internet, pop back up. Later, you could maybe be on a show or something, but he just needed to lay low, not do anything.
And he couldn't.
No, he couldn't.
And he couldn't.
Went full Karen. He went full Karen. It's within him. People were like, he cut his braids to be able to sue. Like, he was like, I am done with this niggotry. I am a white Jewish man and I am suing. Like, he's, I don't know if you saw it. He's like balding a little bit too. Yep. It's just like, this man has been stressed out, but he is like, I'm tired of this. I'm suing. He's enough.
Sick of this shit.
I am tired of acting like a rapper. I am suing. This is done. He is done.
Truly did.
That's it. That's it. That's truly
Truly
it.
did.
You cannot sue someone in a rap battle. I
So
don't care if
funny.
Universal Trump, and that was the thing. It's like Universal probably did a little things to inflate some of the not like us numbers, but not like us is a global hit. People
Mm-hmm.
had it at their weddings.
Mm-hmm.
It went back up after this lawsuit. There's just no way. Like there's even if that's proven to be again that they did a little bit with it, that song is a fucking hit. Like just regard like that is a organic hit. Like people love Not Like Us. It's arguably the best diss song ever.
Mm.
And like to sue because of that is just the most lame, corny shit. And it's just like crash and burn. Like a Drake can't like he'll probably pop back up and do I don't know whatever kind of music. You know, Kendrick told him he could do the melody music, which he should have just laid low and did. Like he could have just shut the fuck up and taken
Yep.
his L and
Yep.
again come back out and people wouldn't forget, but they would just be like, okay, well, you know, because you know people lose these rap battles and all that. But yeah, you can't sue nobody. Like you
No.
can't sue nobody in a rap battle. It's crazy.
Sure can.
So that happened. I don't know what else happened while
I
we
was like,
were
I know you're gonna shout her out, but
ooh. Oh,
Doechii.
Doechii. Oh yeah. My God.
Also for her most recent award, want to be sure that we are shouting out the fact that she got the Disruptor of the Year award, the Hip Hop Disruptor of the Year award from Variety's Hitmakers, and like
Next.
the performances that she's been
Incredible year.
doing, stuff that she's also I don't know if you saw the brief. I don't know when this video happened, but I don't know if you saw the brief like live that Doechii and SZA did. And the first thing
No.
that Doechii came on and was like, "Hello, Scissor." And SZA was like, "Hey, nigga."
Right.
And I was like, "This is the best. This is the
They
best. These are the things that
are.
we need." But it's like, man,
Listen,
Doechii is out here doing the work. It's
deserves it
like
all. Work so hard. It's all talent,
we love it.
timing, all of it's coming together. Shout
We
out to her.
love
I mean,
it.
we're about to shout her
We
out,
love
but
it.
she's on
Wicked.
TDE as well. So that's interesting. Again,
Yes.
Kendrick, SZA,
Kendrick,
and
SZA.
Doechii.
So good. So
So
good.
good. They know what they're
Wicked.
doing.
How did we not talk about Wicked?
Yeah. Did you see it?
It's, do you know how upset I was because I couldn't see it like immediately because I was in South Africa
Well,
and had to go wait. And I was like, I'm glad there's no spoilers because I know exactly what happened in the musical because I've seen the stage Broadway
mhm.
production of it. So I was like, no spoilers. But every time I saw something on the internet, it felt like it was a
A
spoiler.
spoiler.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I just threw my phone.
What was a spoiler for you if you
I
see
don't
if
know.
you know
I
what
don't know. It
happened?
was just like a reaction in me because it was like then I got to
That's
see
hilarious.
how they did it in in the film, and I was like, no,
Hmm.
I want to be surprised by all the things that they did in the film and the artistry and how
Hmm.
they made this play out. So that I feel like that the
That's so funny.
creative, the visual creation was my spoiler, and
Hmm.
like seeing it ahead of time, I was like, no, and so then I wouldn't like listen to the songs or do anything because I was like, I don't know if they arranged it differently, I don't know if they did anything, but man, I took myself.
Musical
Um,
spoilers. You guys, guys are nuts. Go ahead.
leave me alone. That
Oh, you're
film
like they
gave
might have
me
changed the arrangement.
they
What?
yes, yes, because you didn't know if there were new songs in there, all the things. So you just
Mm-hmm. You're
okay,
right. No, that's
friend.
true. That's true. Hmm.
And yes, I majored in music, so arrangement and all
Yeah,
the
no,
things.
that's big. You're
Okay,
right. That's a thing.
thank you
That's
so
a
much.
thing. Hmm.
So took myself on a little afternoon movie date. Didn't think
Hmm.
that the theater would still be full. It was very much full, and I was like,
Oh
oh
wow.
no, oh no. I was like, watch me get emotional in here, and then I did. So
Mm.
I was like, I'm
Look at you
starting to. I
crying on
set
the
myself
ground,
up
not a plane.
for these emotional things, and it's like I don't do this all the time. But when I
Hmm.
went and saw Wicked, they did that. My goodness, Cynthia Erivo,
Hmm.
bitch, Ariana Grande. People don't realize how funny Ariana is. She is fucking hilarious. And she did what needed to be done. All of the people who acted, even the CGI animal characters, fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Everybody,
Did
huh?
it. Everybody
Wow.
acted
Would you
their
see it
ass off.
again?
Man, I'm planning on seeing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully this
I
weekend.
see that.
Hopefully I can
Oh
go see it
wow.
this
Oh,
weekend.
so quickly. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
You're
don't
like,
need to
gotta
wait.
see it.
Don't
Gotta
need to wait.
gotta go back.
Don't need to
Gotta go
wait.
back.
No. But yeah,
That's
there were a
funny.
couple songs, but yeah, by the end, oh my God, my eyes fully deceived me. Fully
Oh.
deceived me. It was just tears falling. And I had kind of made like half friends with the two black women that were next to me because the one girl went to the
Hmm.
bathroom. I don't think her friend was paying attention to the film as much as she should have been. So she turned to me and she was like, "What I miss?" And I was just like, I was like, "Are you asking me?" And I was like, "Oh,
The film
well,
is in progress.
let me tell you, I guess." But like, here we are. So that was funny, but I enjoyed that. But
Mhm.
man, was I in my feels. Cynthia Erivo was in her bag.
Mm.
There was songs that I unexpected that I was getting emotional to. There the cinematography, John Chu, you did what needed to be done, my guy. And it was just phenomenal. It was phenomenal. That's all it was. It was they did that. They did
Yeah.
that. The visuals, the way that they added people in, the diversity, all the all the things. And it's just so timely for like the storyline as well and all the things that are happening in America and the
Yeah, I
world
saw people making the
and
parallels where I was like,
being
oh, maybe
able
it'd be interesting
yeah,
to
no, like the
watch.
storyline is a solid like you're watching all of this fucked up shit go down from a guy who
Hmm.
is hiding behind a mask and now he has all of these underground people who are helping to basically silence all of the people that they don't feel like deserve to exist
Mm.
and do stuff and animals as
Hmm.
well like stating like the animals were smart and doing all of these things and now they're trying to get them to go back and not be able to speak anymore and do all the stuff so
Mm.
it's timely and as a black woman as a black queer woman in the theater watching that beside myself
No.
beside myself so we'll definitely go and see it
Gotta
again
see it again. That's
got to see
cool.
it again I want to see it in like a more like high def
Yeah.
movie screen
Experience.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
Okay.
because I
Well,
need the
speaking of
audio
musicals,
guess who watched one
guess who watched one? I
so
watched
proud
Jingle Jangle
so proud
over the Thanksgiving holiday with my mother. It was good. It's a black musical,
hmm
so it checked the boxes. Um, it was really good. It's again, again, my only thing with musicals, the movie could have been 30 minutes shorter. I was like, some of these scenes don't need to be musicals, but it was a great movie, and I get it for Jingle Jangle. Rent is still on the list. I'll watch it before the end of the year.
Oh my God.
I kind
Christmas
of do. And I
present to
said before, I
me.
do want to. Yeah, that actually will be your present.
That is. Thank you so much.
I'll tape it or something. We'll put it
I'm
on
so excited.
Patreon or do something like that.
Chris's
I do
reaction.
want to see Wicked. I told you that the marketing was working on me, but I do want to see it streaming. So I really want
Okay.
to go see
I
it.
mean,
So
that's okay. I will take that.
that's
If you
fair,
watch
right?
it at home,
Hmm.
I'll take it. Because I actually do think you'll like it. Because it's also not one of those that's like overwhelming with
It's not a lot
songs.
of okay. Yeah, that's my only thing. It's
Yeah.
just when it's too much songs, like
I
it's
think
just
you'll think
it's
that there are like 2 to 3 songs that were unnecessary,
okay.
but the rest like fit
That's
and were
good.
beautiful and kind of
Yeah.
like did the stuff. But I think
Yeah.
there's plenty of dialogue for you to
Okay.
enjoy.
Cool, cool, cool. And that's good. That's all I want is just, better balance.
Yeah.
I
Wicked
did
is
see
one of the most
Gladiator.
accessible one. Ah, yeah, how was that? How was it?
Gladiator 2 was it was like mid.
Uh,
um if you've seen the first Gladiator, it's so emotional and it's so good and it makes you feel and this one just didn't. Besides Denzel,
I was
who
about to say, how
deserves
did
an
Denzel do?
Oscar, of course Denzel carried everyone.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just, and it's hard to do a sequel to a movie that's such a classic. Um, but it just didn't, I don't know. It was just kind of, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
okay.
It's like
Like
after
they
all
could
this
have,
time, you have to level it up solidly to put
they
out a
do, but
sequel.
you know what? That they probably put a little bit too much in, like the fighting sequences where it was just like, okay, but this could have actually been a place for dialogue. Like this could have been a place for dialogue. I wish there were more scenes between Denzel and Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also did well. But it just yeah, it felt rushed. It felt emotionless. It was kind of predictable and yeah, aside from Denzel being Denzel, somebody I saw a TikTok on how everybody was doing like their Roman accents, and then Denzel was from Brooklyn, which is very true. Um, and they could have kept that kissing scene in; it would have made sense in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
the way that Denzel was moving. But yeah, it was interesting. I also saw this little like think piece video on like I can't give any spoilers away, but it's just interesting how the character Denzel plays and represents.
Mm-hmm.
So not bad to see, but if you haven't seen it, you could totally check it out on streaming and it'd be fine. I did when me and my mom we went to go see it in I guess it's X or IMAX, whatever. It's not IMAX. It's the one now where they do the
Oh, like the Dolby?
screen on the sides. No, it yeah, but it's like they
Wait, the
extend
screen?
the screen on the sides. Yeah, my boss had told me about
Oh.
it. It's like called it's not IMAX. It's
But I think
X
it's
something.
kind of like an IMAX,
It's
but
kind of like
it's
it.
like the next
It's
tier
the
of it.
next thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I have been to those where it's just like it's a huge theater and a huge screen that just kind of like wraps. Is that
Yeah,
it?
but so not that because I'm looking at like I know the IMAX is that massive screen. It wasn't that. It's that it's on the side. So it's like a like the fight sequences, especially like it was really cool because it was like your
Oh.
field of view was like it was like all around. It was almost like you're wearing a VR set.
Oh,
So we
cool.
saw it like that. So that was cool to see it and experience it that way. What is the name of it?
Mm,
Let me
super
look that
fancy.
up because it's gonna
Just sounds super fancy.
it's funny because I went to the nearby. I didn't go to the fancy theater. I went to the one nearby me. So it was like that was fancy, but the theater wasn't. So I was like, how did y'all get this?
They said we put all our investment in the screen and then we didn't
Like
have any left
what?
over from the
At
budget.
all for
It cost
nothing
a little
else.
bit more than we expected.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were like nothing else.
Yeah. No,
Let me
that's
see
kind of
what
what
it's
happened
called.
with the theater I went to. It was like the screen was poor quality, but like we had reclining couches and like all the things. And I
Okay,
was just like, okay, I see where we put the funds here.
the
Yeah.
money
Got
and
it.
yeah. Let's see, Gladiator. It's gonna bother me. Words Theater. It's something X though, which I thought wasn't very inventive of it.
I mean, everybody just wants X to be
Yeah, it has to have an X in there.
a dollar.
It's not coming up. It doesn't matter.
It's
But
okay. We
anyways,
believe you.
if you see it, you'll see it. It's not IMAX though, but it's X something.
Leveled up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So if you haven't seen it, you could wait. You could really wait, and it's fine, and you'll be.
That's
Oh,
good to know.
Screen X. Screen X
Oh, there we go.
is what it's
That's an
called.
unoriginal
Screen
name,
X.
but
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Good for y'all.
they were like the naming person for that was like,
Yeah.
how about Screen X? And they're like, yeah, great job. So
They said just put it
it's
out there.
okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Well, look
Okay.
at us watching the things. Look at you watching
We
music things.
did.
So
We
proud.
watched the things. We
So
really
proud.
did.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's go ahead over to our backward opinions because what type of backwards would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? My bad queer opinion is an encouragement. It is an encouragement. So I want to remind folks because I feel like the studs of the world are usually behind the camera, taking the photos, getting the angles, taking the shots. I want to remind folks to take more pictures of your stud friends.
Hmm.
Put them in the photos. Put them in front of the camera and not just in their little pose with the one hand over the other or sitting with their legs crossed. Get a smiling photo of them too. Get some, I want some more stud joy on the internets of folks just, being out, hanging out, doing the things. Like put them in front of the camera, take their photos and tell them they're pretty. Like they
Hmm.
deserve.
Hmm.
So I just wanted that as a call and reminder to not just keep the studs behind the camera, put them in front of the camera and make them smile.
That's so funny because again, that would require that y'all have to step up your picture taking game because usually the studs, my bad queer opinion is that studs are the photographers of the best photographers of the queer community, and we would love people to capture us in our essence, but we just I don't know if it's lack of care or lack of skill because a lot of us are, we're just self-taught.
Mm.
But we'll get the angles, we'll get on the ground. We're all self-taught. So, um, while we would love more photos of ourselves, some of us,
Mm.
we just all have to like upskill or try, maybe try.
That's why it's
So,
like if we put people behind the camera, then they have to. They have to put some work
yeah,
into it. You're practicing, you're getting better, take some
yeah.
notes, adjust.
You gotta want to take the photos and you gotta
Yeah.
like see it. You gotta actually see it before you take the photo. Like you gotta
Hmm.
look at
Hmm.
somebody and say like, oh, this is when these are the shots that they look the best in. And then capture it. And I just don't know. I feel like people don't have the patience for mask and stud folks to like do that. And they're like, come,
Hmm.
hurry up, put the snap back on. Like it's just like, come on, like take the picture. Like, or it's just not enough. Or it's like one
This
photo and then it's over. The
voice.
photo shoot is over. And it's like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, we ran out of film. And it's like, oh, it's your phone.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's gotta be there's got to be a want there. There's got
Yeah.
to be, you got to want to take good photos. You got to want to get better at it. So which is funny, this has been my thing, right? And I said that, like my wife's not good at it. And just in general, I don't think femmes are. My wife takes bad pictures of my son And she finally was like, it is me. And I was like, that's all I wanted you to know. That's all I wanted you to know. It is you. It's you. Like, I was like, we compare photos and it's just like, I don't know if you're not trying. And mind you, my wife has been taking photos her whole life. Her and her sister have like mountains of photos. She loves posing. She has all these baby photos of her. She has taken so many photos in her life. So like that's her thing. But I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know if it's like femmes and in the romance thing where it's just like I don't know if it's because the onus is usually not on them to take photos or whatever. Or again, they're usually used to being photographed. But I don't know. There is a skill gap. There's a skill gap between the two. So, you know, yeah, they gotta upskill.
Gotta upskill.
And that's my hope. I hope that as a community we could grow. So maybe there's some workshops we could do. I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know what the solution is.
To the queer photographers, teach us the workshops.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that would be a good event to do. Like just
that would be a great event.
Learn how to
I'd show up.
Photograph. Yeah, I'd show up. It's not
I mean,
like
I've mastered my concert videos. I'm very proud of that. My concert video game has leveled up
of things. I think you're pretty good at taking the footages of things.
Thank you.
Like you're pretty good.
Thank you. But yeah, no, taking pictures of people sometimes I'm like I could do better.
Yeah.
There are opportunities and I'm trying. It's not for lack of effort. Like I am trying. I just haven't gotten it together. So it's not on my end. It's not for lack of effort.
Yeah. But you know what you have? You have the desire and that's what's going to take you far.
Thank you so much.
You have the desire and the want to be better.
Thank you.
That's really it. That's what gets you across the finish line. So.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show.
If y'all want us to stop taking those sports bra mirror photos, then y'all have to step up. You have to step up. You know,
I knew you had something else to get off your chest. I jumped into wrapping up the show and I saw
my God,
it build up in you, and I was like, oh wait, there's one more. There's one more.
Because that's all we see. Because it was like studs get photographed, but they usually do it themselves or
sports bra mirror
tripod. Photos. Yeah. It's not like they want to do those. I mean, they do, but
I mean,
they
still want them, but
they really do.
Range.
They do
range.
Some range, yeah. Portfolio.
Oh man. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Just making sure. I felt bad. I cut you off. My bad, friend.
That's it. No, it's fine.
Let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Alphabet Soup DC. They are a group that hosts queer events in DC and the DMV. Recent events, holiday events, include How the Queers Stole Christmas, Jingle Bush, and Dyke the Halls.
Aw.
That's great themes. Great.
You gonna try and get to a party when you go home for the holidays?
I mean, if they're having them,
yeah,
why not? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe if I can get.
It's hard to say that in advance, right? When you go home, it's like you're either tired or there's people visiting.
Yes,
or it's just like
I don't know what the schedule is. If I hang out with my nephew that day, I'm exhausted. Like it's just
that's a full day.
We shall see. The only thing I can guarantee is seeing like the same group of friends that I always see when I go home, and that's it. Otherwise, I'm at home on the couch. Chilling.
Yeah,
eating my snacks, doing whatever. So
being around family.
Hopefully, I would like to go out. I miss going out in DC. So if anybody wants to go out while in DC, let me know. We'll hang out.
Why did your voice get higher and higher?
Because it was just like I was like, man, I'm asking for people. I'm asking strangers to hang out with me.
Begging.
I hang out. Like, if y'all gonna go out, if you're gonna go outside, I'll meet you there. You can follow them and support at Alphabet Soup Events on IG.
So funny. My shout out, we talked about this, Doechii, for just an incredible Tiny Desk and Late Night with Colbert performance. Good. Both those performances last week that hit there. I've watched them 3 times each. They're so good. I mean, the mixtape was good. If y'all haven't listened to Alligator Bites Never Heal, Doechii's mixtape from earlier this year, make sure you go listen. Check out the videos on YouTube and follow Doechii on IG at Doechii.
All right, y'all.
So much talent.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Unexpected hiccup coming in. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Category-is-a-polooza.
Category-is-a-polooza. I was like, our next few weeks, we're going into the holiday season. So reminder, episodes are still going to come. We're just going to have a lot of guests, a lot of great people. We're going to have our end of year episode. So the content's still going to come. The episodes are still going to come, but we're going to take a little break. And that's why we have so many guests coming on. But we'll be back fully us in January, also with some more guests that are coming that we are hype about for next year. So you all be sure to keep writing into us, keep sending stuff, keep joining Patreon because you are helping our
thank y'all
bills.
so much.
So
oh my gosh,
shout out to all of
who
you for joining Patreon.
Love y'all.
And it's still there, $5, $3 if you just want to support, just to support, $5 if you want to get some more content and things like that. But for everybody who has joined Patreon so far, thank you. Thank you so much.
Every little bit counts.
And
happy holidays, y'all.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We will be celebrating, doing the things. I hope you all enjoy the next few episodes. And a happy early new year.
Yeah. Ooh. We'll need each other in 2025. Let's
stay close. Stay close. Real close. Bring it in. Tell your friends. Come and join. Do the things. Yeah. So, but otherwise, we will definitely see you next week with some fun guests.
Take care.
It's me again. Can we talk about things? I'm sorry that I'm